Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more FM22, where we are playing with the Bohemians in the Czech Republic. And I'm starting in here in the overview of our league. And as you can probably, I don't know, maybe you can tell it, but we have moved up one spot over here on the competition reputation. What does that mean? Oh yes, it means that we got new spots. If we go into the rules here and into the champions group, it means that we have new spots in here for the competitions, right? So we still got the conference league spots here for the 5th spot and also for the 4th spot. So that's the conference league, or the Euro Cup 2 as it is called here. But now we also have a spot for the, well, what is called the Euro Cup in real. Or no, what's it called in real? Wow, I blanked on that one. But the Euro Cup, the second best one, right? Because we didn't have a spot for that before. The games that we have played has been in the Conference League, the third one, the new system that was put in 2021, or was it 2022? I don't remember, but definitely that's the new one, number 2 here. That's the new one, the one we played. This is the second best one, the Euro Cup. So we got a new spot for that. But we are exchanging it for one of the Euro Cup 2 or the Conference League spots. But that's fine. We also got a new spot in here. I don't know which one it actually is. But we got the third qualifier and the second qualifier. So I guess the third qualifier might be a better one than the last one. Maybe we had 2 second qualifiers before. So that's lovely. There are more to play for. Hopefully, I don't know if it was our adventures in the in the Conference League last season that did this, but we moved up one spot, and I wanted to, just show you guys, because that is what we are about. That is getting more spots for the Czech League, right? That's what we want. That is what we want, along with, of course, bettering ourselves, but this is also very, very important. Alright, so, oh boy, we have a lot of players to look at, we have a lot to discuss, and if you don't like that kind of stuff, looking at new players, looking who went out and all that kind of, generally speaking, the transfers, and just looking at players. If you don't like that, you can definitely just skip over all of this and get into the next episode, because this is basically just looking at players the rest of this episode. So yeah, if you don't like it, jump over it, go to the next episode where we're gonna play 3 games in the next episode. 3 games. So yeah. Anyway, here we are. Our first signing of the summer transfers. Or, well, I actually signed these guys in the... Most of my signings I did in the winter transfer, actually. But we didn't get them in before now. So, Paslik. He is an inside forward. At least that is what I'm planning to use him at. Now, I'm not too sure how often we're gonna play with the tactic, with the tactic where we have the inside forward on the right-hand side. I'm very, very inclined to say that we might play very often with the inside forward on the other side. This guy could change that, depending on how well he's playing. I mean, so far, quite good in the friendlies, right? So it all depends, but he can definitely play a couple of different spots. He could also go down and play probably a central midfielder here. Yeah, definitely play a central midfielder if we really need him to, but I don't think so. He is on some very, very heavy wages compared to what he's giving us. At least that is what I think. 1800 might be on the higher side, but I'm pretty happy with the signing. He came from Borussia Dortmund, so yeah, he should have some qualities about him. See here, he played in the 3rd league for Dortmund 2 here, did quite well. So I think we do need to play sometimes with this guy in, just to see if we can... I think there's a big profit in him. If we allow him to play some games, there is some profit in this guy. So that's the first of many to come. Nevrela, another youngster here, 20 years old. And I picked this guy up for 37k. Now, that could be a mistake. He's on a long contract, but it could be a mistake making, yeah, for the money here, 37k. He's out on loan. I sent him out on loan because I didn't plan to use him myself. So I thought, okay, fair enough, let's send him out. He could also just have been playing for my B squad and just developing a bit. But I thought, nah, let's send him out and let's see if he can get some good first team football out there. So he's a pretty decent winger. He doesn't really have any weak sides to him. And that's probably why I signed him, right? He doesn't really... Off the ball is probably the only thing that we're looking at here. Now, one of the reasons I got him is because he's 20. He got 17 determination. He's fairly determined in the personality, and he's only 20. I still think there is a profit in him, but the profit is probably not as big as you would think. So, if I can double my money on this guy, that would be fine. And also, right now my wages are getting covered by him out on loan. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Depresini, an Hungarian youngster here, 21 as well. Well, the other guy was actually 20, so not as well. Another guy that I got him for free. This guy, but he's also out on loan with one of the in the second tier of football in Czech Republic. Wow, I can't speak. This guy is actually a little bit more interesting because he can also play as a central defender, and actually he's quite well suited for that. I'm not sure how he's getting used down there. I believe I have told them to use him as a fullback on support, so which he's very capable of. That's probably his best spot if you ask me. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this signing, and again, I think for free there is a profit to be made, and I think it's actually more than 50k. I could see this guy go for 75 to 100k. So, and again, my wages are getting covered by him out on loan, so hopefully he can develop a bit out on loan as well, this guy. Bornemann or Bonman, I'm not sure exactly, but a German from, again, Dortmund, who, did I pay money for this guy? I don't think so. Nope, free signing from Dortmund. Absolutely brilliant. And this guy is likely our best pressing forward. I think so. Now, he has to fight for that spot, because right now I would say Sutil is probably the guy that I'm going to start with in there. So he has to fight for it. But the good thing about this guy, as well as Sutil, is that they can both play as an inside forward down here on the right-hand side. This guy could even go down and play an attacking midfielder role. I wouldn't worry about doing that, and he might actually end up doing that. I don't know. It depends. If Biran is not showing anything good, well, then maybe Bornemann is going to go on that attacking midfield role. But he's a very, very good signing. He can play... I would say he can play 3 different spots in our team, and that's a good way to go to get yourself into the team, right? So, and as well, the wages are actually not that high if you think about it. If you think about what we get here, 1,300, that's not too high. And this guy, I mean, there is a chance we like to keep him, but even if we don't, in 2 years' time, you know, there could be money in this guy. And so far in the preseason, he's been doing fantastic. So probably one of the best signings so far. Chavoy. Oh yeah, I love that name. That's a brilliant name. I can't say it correctly, but I'm gonna keep it how it is. So he's a Croatian, 22 years old. He is a fullback. He's quite good actually. I think I kind of like this guy. I might have made a mistake to put him out on loan. So might have been a mistake. I mean, his wages are getting completely covered out on loan, but it could be a mistake. But I think overall this is a good signing. Again, there's profit in this guy. He's easily gonna sell for 100 to 200k. Easily, I think so at least. So yeah, pretty damn good wing back here. No really weaknesses, how I see it. Just well-rounded, all good. Fairly determined. 15 in determination. I don't see why this guy wouldn't be good, but he's out on loan for now, and that's okay. That's okay. Carlo Halfa, yeah, I renamed this guy. A German, 24, so he's not really a youngster anymore. He is gonna stay inside our first squad, but I do not see him as... he's an impact sub, or actually he's not really an impact sub, but he's definitely someone who is not the first or the second choice. He's like a squad player. He's a Frenchie. He's a French player, but probably more French than anything. He's probably my 3rd choice in central midfield. He's likely my 3rd choice as a halfback, and he could even be my 3rd choice on the left-hand side. In our central defense as well. So there are plenty of opportunities for him to play when we are rotating quite heavily. But he's definitely not one of the best players we have, and he's also pretty cheap. We got him for a long time. Again, I see profit in this guy. If he plays 10 games, 15 games this season, well, success, and maybe we can sell him next season or the season after that. So I'm fairly happy with that. Budinsky, he is a Czech. Finally, we have a Czech. 21 years old, attacking midfielder. Did I pay anything for him? Yes, 48k. I did pay money for him. Yeah, I think that's fine. He got a lot of potential, this guy. I can see a lot of potential in this guy. He's probably around as good as Biran. This guy could take over for Biran as that first spot for the attacking midfield. We will see how it goes, but right now Biran is, of course, my first choice. But this guy, being only 21, almost 2-footed, right? He got something about him. Good flair. Decent numbers where he needs the decent numbers. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about with this guy is probably his tackling and marking, because we do need our attacking midfielder. Also, he can play in the central midfield, so yeah, he's actually more a Masila. Interesting. But if he's going down playing here, we're gonna struggle with the tacklings and marking. But that goes for all of our central midfielders. They're struggling a bit with the marking and tackling. But overall, I'm very happy about this guy. Fairly cheap wages as well, on a 3-year contract. So I think he's gonna do fine. But he's right now definitely not my first choice anywhere. He's second or even third choice attacking midfielder, fourth choice central midfielder. But still, pretty decent. Finnason or Finson. I think that's how you're pronouncing it. Icelandic, 23 years old. He is he's coming from Dortmund as well on a free transfer, and he's on some really heavy wages. It might be a mistake. He's kind of taking over from Kovarik. Kovarik was on the same wages. Is he as good as Kovarik? You know, not entirely yet. Not entirely. Now this guy, what he is well-rounded. No weaknesses in anything here. As a fullback, that is. There are no weaknesses in him. He's a complete fullback. I mean, I'm not worried about him, right? He's always gonna play fine. He's gonna be fine in there. What I am worried about is that I actually bought him in as a I bought him in as a a ball-playing defender or central defender. But you know what? I don't think he can play there. He got 8 heading and 8 jumping reach. He's not very tall either. If he's gonna play in there, it's the second option, right? We do have Haurustak, who is probably the first choice, but he is likely my second choice in there. But he's also my first choice fullback, so this guy's gonna get enough playtime. No worries about it. He's gonna get plenty of playtime because he's my first choice fullback when we do play with a fullback over here on the left-hand side. Then he's definitely my first choice for that. Moravec, another Czechish player, and this one is kind of an interesting one. He's on a very heavy wage as well, but what you might already see now, he's a 33. And you might sit there thinking, why on earth are you buying a 33-year-old? Well, I don't actually buy him. He was a free deal. He didn't have a contract. Now, and he's also injury prone. I didn't actually see that when I bought him, but I did see it afterwards. And he's also not very good at marking. He's a central midfielder, and he's not very good at marking. So why did I buy this guy? Well, I would say there are 2 reasons for it. First off, I think he's a very good player overall. The second is, I could get him on a contract for running for only 1 year. So I guess there was actually 3 reasons, because the last reason is the most important reason, and that is, he's a homegrown. He's actually a homegrown from our academy. And that means he can get into, I needed someone that could go in and slot there. So I went out looking specifically for someone who was homegrown with the Bohemians, had played in our club as a youngster. And I found him. And he's rather good. He's rather good. I mean, this is not a bad player. He is probably our best central midfielder right now. It remains to be seen if he can, how fast his physicals are going to go down when he's 33 here. But right now, at the beginning of the season, he's probably my first choice midfielder, to be honest. On the right-hand side, I would say. He's pretty solid. He is pretty solid. I like a lot. I like him a lot, actually. He got some vision. He got the composure to just take the ball and carry it. He got the first touch. No worry playing it into him. I mean, and he even got corners on 13, so he can do our corners as well. Reasonable left foot. He could play on the left hand side as well. This guy is pretty damn good. Is he expensive? Yes. and we will probably only have him for 1 year. So yeah, I'm kind of waiting for those in our youth academy to get into the team, but it's gonna take some time for them to develop a little bit. So there we go. I think this is it could potentially be a really good signing, actually. Benjamin Vidal. Oh boy, another old guy coming in. 32 years old. And yeah, he's on 1900 wages, and he's here for just 1 season. I brought him in as a French player, right? He's gonna be that backup that I'm gonna need in the central defense that I didn't have last season. And I wanted someone that was decent enough to play on both spots. This guy can slot in both on the right-hand side and the left-hand side, because he do have a reasonable left foot as well. And he's fast enough to deal with whatever, if he's gonna play on cover, or if he's gonna... I mean, he can do anything in there, and I kind of needed that kind of guy. And since the guy from Dortmund, who is more a fullback, didn't really work out for me, or I was a little bit afraid of using him, I went out looking for someone, and I didn't really care about age. Not really. This guy is gonna, you know, be the backup. He's gonna be on the bench quite a lot. He could get a lot of playtime. I don't know. He do have international experience as well for Chile. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty decent... He's not on, you know, crazy wages either. But we're definitely not gonna get any money for him. He's just an expense that we kind of needed to solidify our defense this season. So I'm fairly happy about this signing as well. And he is actually also the last signing so far, because we are not done. The season is starting so early in the Czech Republic. The transfer window is not over at all. There's still like 2 months to that happens. But I think our squad is almost there. Unless we are selling players, I don't really see a lot of development going out and finding new players here. Right, so coming out here to the overview of the transfer history, we do have 3 players that went out on just releasing them. Kovarik, he wanted, he wanted a new contract, but his numbers are overall just going down really quickly now. He's 35. He wanted a big contract again, like 2,200 or something like that. And I didn't really... I mean, he could still have been a good player for us, but I let him go. We do have backup now over there with our new Dortmund player as well. Kuba is also gone. Didn't really play him a whole lot. He was a youngster, a goalkeeper. Not really anything good. Same with this guy. Not really anything good from Vietnam. Never really played him, just sitting in our B squad, and yeah, they're gone. Now, we do also have more to look at if we go over to all transfers. So this is last season. This is last season. This is this season. But I think if we're going back in here, yeah, there are more over here. Yeah. See, we do have from here and onwards. We got Osmanchik, who we also gave a new contract last season. He's out on loan, right? We got Mika, who is a youngster, one of the intakes. He's out on loan. We got Yarolim, also a youngster, out on loan. I think you can probably see where this is going, right? Yes. Nevrela out on loan. We already saw that. Djekovic out on loan. He's the attacking midfielder that didn't really play last season. He's out on loan. Seaman, another of our youngsters, out on loan. Ravoy out on loan. Valles, he's out on loan. No, we sold him. We sold Valles. 35k or 42 in total. So he's gone. We played him in the first season, but he got overtaken by, what is his name? I forgot our goalkeeper's name. Vlesiak, another youngster, out on loan. Novi, we sold him for 155k. Brilliant! I had a bidding war on that one. It ended up with these guys who I think they're in the second division. Yeah, first division. What? Oh, they moved up to the first division. Wow. Good job them, I guess. So we're gonna see him again this season in another team. So one of the promoted teams bought him for 155k. Yeah, he's not bad, but okay, I'll take the money. He's 30. I mean, sure. We also sold Kved, which I didn't really anticipate that would happen, but I sold him for 50k, and I'm fairly happy about that. I mean, I don't... Here's the thing about Kved here. He was fairly good when he played, But he had that first touch of 7, and composure of 7 as well, and concentration of 8. Just doesn't work when we need to have more control over the game. So we let him go, and could I have gotten more from him? Sure, we probably could. And I probably should, but 50k, he's gone. Serve is out on loan. I don't plan on using him this season. Just getting more playtime in the second division here in Victoria Siskov. Duprency, we already... Kubek is also going out on loan. He played quite well for us in the first part of the last season, and yeah, I don't really plan using him because we only use one striker this season, so yeah, out on loan with him. Doodle also out on loan because, again, I did use him last season, but I think he could get a lot more first team playtime if he went out on loan. So he's out on loan as well. So quite a few players going out on loan, as we can also see here in the development. There we go. That's all of them. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Hopefully some of them develop a little bit out there. You might ask, what did that do to our finances with all those going in and out and loan deals and all that? Well, felt good. Our sponsorship actually gave us, I think, like almost 2 million in the summer transfer here. So I think we're looking really good because now I know that in terms, we can definitely spend even more in wages and not really worry too much. But it all depends, of course, if we're getting into the Conference League. If we get into the group stages of the Conference League, no worries. Then we are financially secure at all stages. But if we do not get in there, then we need to think about stuff for next season, because that means, yeah, the wage budget can't really go too much up, because that means we will not have 3 extra millions for next season, right? But overall, it's looking really, really good. It's looking really, really good. And even here, you can see the wages are actually not that much higher compared to last season. We actually take a step down, kind of, it looks like. I don't understand that. Is that really true? Is that really true? It's saying we only use 21, 22. Wait, that can't be it. Because out here it's saying 30. Is this number actually with the staff? Could be. I'm actually not sure about that, but I didn't think it was. But that could be. I've never figured that one out. There should be another number here with committed spending with staffs. That would be great. That would be great. That would be really lovely if they did that. Anyway, let's take a look at the projection here. It's going up. Yeah, it's going up. But that all depends on, of course, the Conference League. I would say that would all depend on the Conference League. In terms of the Conference League, actually, you know what? Let's wait with that until the next episode. I can show you who we're gonna play in the next episode. It's gonna be an interesting one, I can tell you that. Now, right now, I actually want to look at the squad that we do have. So let's get into the squad depth here. We're using 2 different formations, of course. We're using this one, and we're also using the force down the right-hand side. For the most part, I believe we are probably gonna use this one. I can already now tell you, there are no tactical changes from last season. None. I'm playing the exact same. You can see here, I didn't change it. I changed it in April or something like that, right? Or is that May, maybe? I think that's May. I haven't changed them since that, because I just feel like they're working, right? So this is the players that we have available for next season so far. So we got Hauersdag, we got Hulka, Vidal, Bedaker, we got Chihag over here on the right-hand side, and we got Finnesen on the left-hand side. So we got 4 players who can slot into the central midfield, which is, I think that's about what we need. We could get injuries and it could get struggling, but we do have a couple of other players who could come down and play here, of course. Carlo Halfer could come down and play here. Hulka could go to the left-hand side and play there as well. Same goes for the other side. We got a couple of players who could Halfa come down. Bess could even come down and play here. Hopefully that will never happen, but you know, there are more depth this time around in the central defense. And the good thing is we got Bedaker and Hulker and also Hauersdag from last season, so they have developed a really good partnership. So that's pretty good. I think our central defense is looking rather good, actually. We have the same goalkeepers from last season, actually one less because Valles is not in there. But Mikolic, gonna be in there again. I was actually debating if I needed someone better than him, but you know what? He actually did fine last season. He was one of the best in the league, Mikolic. So I'm gonna stick to him. He's still young. He's 24. Let's keep him. Let's keep developing him a little bit here. and see how he does next season. We also got Bakowski, who hasn't played for us at all, I don't think. He's just a, backup. And I do also have a youngster. I don't know, why is he not in here? Oh, maybe because of the fills, or because he's probably a 1-star. Yeah, there we go. Sakada. Yeah, and he's the 3rd choice, right? He is actually inside my first squad, but he's playing for the B team. On the left-hand side, we got Hanosek, who, I mean, you could debate that he's the best player over here, but I think he's gonna rotate heavily with Finson, the new Icelandic player. So those two are gonna probably rotate quite a lot. And then we also got Ndefi, who can come over here and play here. So we're a little bit weak because Doodle, he's out on loan. Do we have anyone else who can actually come over here? Yeah, I think I thought that if one of these two guys are gonna injury, that would mean that Velik is probably moving up here and could also play over here. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but more so than ever, we only have really 2 players here. On the other side, we have Ndefe, Dera, and Velik, and I think they all will be absolutely perfect for this role a little bit further forward, because I think mostly we're gonna play with the wingback here and the fullback here, and the inside forward here. I think that's mostly how we're gonna play this for most of the games, but sometimes I will change it around. So we will also look at the other tactic in just a moment here and see how we slot in there. But yeah, Ndefi, probably the best of the lot. I think he's gonna get a lot more play time. He had a long injury near the end of the season here for 4 months or something like that. So he's just about coming back from an injury, I believe. Yeah, he's just about coming back here near the start of the season. Also got Dera, of course. Yeah, I think he did better than I expected him to last season, so yeah, it's good. I still think that I overspent on him. I paid 240k for him. Way too much for this guy. We also got Velik, who is also decent. He's probably more a fullback than he is a wingback, but he'll do fine. He'll do fine as a 3rd choice over there. So that's also pretty good. In the defensive midfield, we got... I don't plan on using Movarek here, so let's move him out. Aikidi is in here, and I think he's gonna probably be my 1st choice this season, but I think Bess and him is gonna rotate quite heavily. And we also got Carlo Halfa, who can come down and play there. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I have no concerns about that spot, actually. I think that's quite good, and we got plenty of backup if anything is gonna break on these 3 guys. So that should be good. In the central midfield, well, we got a lot of depth in here, but I don't know how I wouldn't say it's a weakness, the central midfield. I wouldn't say. They are a strength, but most of these guys do not have the marking and tackling that I kind of need. But we of course still got Solil, who's going to play on the right-hand side for the most part, but he can also go in and play the left-hand side. And that's what I'm saying. They only got like marking 7, 8s or something like that. I would like to see 10s or above that. Janosek is also in here, and he's developing really nicely. He's probably my main central midfielder right now, I would say. He's definitely developed quite nice. He got a new 16 number here. First touch is 16 now. That's nice. Moravec is also in here. He's probably the 1st choice on the right-hand side instead of Solil. But here's the thing. All of these 3 guys are gonna rotate quite heavily. And who else do we have here? Let's check it out. Budinsky. Yeah, we got Budinsky, but he's probably more an attacking midfielder, right? But he could definitely come down and play here. He's also fairly good left-footed, so he could definitely play on the left-hand side as well. We also got Kronert, who is actually a homegrown. Yeah, he is from our... we just bought him last season, but I didn't actually know it. But he's actually a Bohemian. He's actually a Bohemian, so that's pretty good. He's filling out that role for the homegrown, so that's pretty good. So we got we also Serwell, he's out on loan. So that's kind of the right-hand side. The left-hand side, pretty much the same. Most of them can play on the left-hand side. Carlo Halfer is also in here because he's left-footed. Budinsky, Finson could even play up here, right? It's like there are plenty of players that can play here, but I think the 3 main guys is Solil, Janosek, and Moravec. And also probably likely Kronert is probably the 4th choice. But we also got Halfa and Budinsky, so we got plenty of depth here. No worries about the depth in the midfield, right? On the left-hand side, inside forward here. Now, I think Ugwu is probably my first choice, with Luka close by as the second option. We also got this guy, Paslik, who we bought in. So lots of depth on this left-hand side. And I think, and that's one of the reasons I want to play this system more, along with also Dera and Defi being a little bit more attacking than the left-hand side is. So, yeah, I think we got plenty of... I don't know why actually, can he play here? Can he? Yeah, but he's... I wouldn't say he's an inside forward, but let's actually take him out of that. So I feel like we got 3 pretty decent players for the inside forward here. Luka, not as much an inside forward as much as he's probably more an inverted winger, but yeah, it should be fine. But I think Ugwu is probably my first choice over here, and maybe Pasalic the second choice, and third choice Luka. In the AMC role, I think Baran right now is my first choice. I think Budinsky is my second choice, and I think Luka is my third choice. They are all about the same level of quality, I would say, and it's probably one of our weak spots in our team. That and probably the goalkeeping. That's probably our weak spots. But if Baran is going to do anything like last season, he's going to be fine. He had like 7.11 or something like that. Where can we see that? 7.11, yeah, exactly 7.11. 19 games, 6 goals, 5 assists, 2 player of the match. If he can do anything like that this season as well, then we don't need to worry about the AMC role then. So I think we are okay here, but it feels a little bit weak, but maybe not. Up front, we got plenty of options. I mean, plenty. We got Sutil, probably the best one right now because he was our top goal scorer last season, but he can also play on the right-hand side, of course, as an inside forward. Same with Bornemann, probably second best choice. Same deal as Sutil, so they can probably rotate quite a bit. Ugwu could go up there. Kubala could go up there. He can also play on the inside forward on the right-hand side. So we got plenty of options on the right-hand side as well. So we will rotate between the two, tactics. Also just to try, and if we struggle in a game, I'm probably tempted to go on the other side and try and play through the other side instead. We also got Tidiane still. He's probably more backup at this stage. We also got Sika, our youngster. He's been moving up, and he's gonna play a lot in the B squad, of course, but he's here, and he also fills in a spot for the homegrown. Actually, no, not yet. Next season he's gonna fill in a spot for the homegrown because he hasn't actually trained for 3 seasons yet in our squad. So, but still, he looks very, very promising. His numbers are just keep going up, so he's gonna slot in as well. But he's, of course, not gonna play as much in there. So I think I'm pretty happy with the overall situation here in the striker area. Plenty of options up there as well. So if we move over and check out how we look on the other side of things, let's take a look at the inside forwards here. We got Sutil, we got Bornemann, we got Kubala, we got Pasalic, we got Moravec, who I'm not really gonna play over there. And we all even got Siska, who can play there. Yeah, he can even play like that. And he's not bad at it. Whoops, let's go in and check him out. Yeah, he's not bad at it at all. He could definitely do a job on an inside forward. So, this might even be stronger than the left-hand side, right? It might even be stronger than the left-hand side. So it all depends on how I feel during the season where we're gonna play. But where we are probably not having the same kind of depth is probably on the left-hand side. I think Hanosek is the only one that is very, very adept to going forward. But as you can see, he's more adept to playing down here than he is a little bit further forward. So I will say, if there is a weak spot here, it is our wingback on the left-hand side. Because none of these guys are really, really good going forward, like the other side is. So there is a bit of a weakness here, but he can definitely do it, Hanosek. And I think Finasan can also do it. He's just, again, not that much adept to it. He's more, I wouldn't say minded on defense, but he is. They're not as good going forward as they are as a fullback. So that is something we need to worry about if we are using this system. But I think they're gonna do fine. On the other side, I think we also have a little bit of a struggle here because mostly Ndefi, I think Ndefi is probably the best player no matter what. He can definitely defend. You can see his numbers here. He can definitely defend, but jumping reach is not that great, heading is not that great, and you kind of need that if you are back there. So, I don't know, Dera is definitely not good enough, but he is developing his tackling actually a little bit, and maybe his marking as well, but you need those numbers if you need to defend, right? But it all depends on how everything is going, right? It depends, but I think both systems are gonna work, but I think right now the other side is gonna work better in terms of how good our players are in those positionings. So we'll see how it goes. But that's the squad depth, and I'm fairly happy with it. So let's take a look at, well, I was about to say the tactic, but you know what? There is nothing changed here. That is it. That is it. It's the same as last season, exactly the same thing, and it works both ways. So, I mean, Uku can play over here, that's... but that is probably my starting 11 if everyone was fit and ready, which they are not. But yeah, that is probably the starting 11. I mean, we have plenty of options. Hanosek is out here, Solil is out here with an injury, Luker is out here. It's gonna be a rotation, right? It's gonna be a rotation. None of these guys are, left out in the cold. None of them. All of them are gonna get playtime, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. So there we go, guys. I think we look strong for this upcoming season. Should we talk about what is gonna happen in the next episode? I think so. Let's get into the schedule here. We got 2 games. Oh, we got 3 games, sorry. We got 2 games against these guys in the Euro Cup. First round. No, actually, is it? No, the second qualifying round. But first leg, of course. Another team from Kazakhstan. They're not as good as the last one we played from Kazakhstan, Astana. But I have already looked at them, and they are not bad. It's not a bad team, so we need to... but we are playing away from home in the first one, and then at home in the next one, of course. Hopefully we can manage to squeeze through that one, and we also got a game against Tepelise in the league, which that should be an easy game at home. Should be a win. The friendlies went really well, as you can see, and that's why I haven't changed anything, because it just... I mean... We have beaten Henriven, who is a lot larger than us, 28 millions club here. A better club than ours. Did really well against those guys. Impoli as well. Did pretty well against those guys. I don't see a reason why I would change my tactic at all. It's just working. And I'm pretty happy with how everything went. I'm happy with the transfers. I'm happy with the tactic. I'm happy with our finances. I'm happy that the Czech Republic got some extra spots in the Euro Cups. It all looks really, really solid right now. It all looks pretty damn good. Hopefully, we will have a good season. It's hard to beat the last season. The last season was so good that it's gonna be hard to beat it. But I hope you will stick around and see me hopefully get as good as a season as the last one. But you never know. You never know. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me today in the preseason here. And next episode, well, we got 3 games to play, so that's gonna be exciting. See you around, folks.